Hi guys, I'm fixing black beans tonight, and what's going to make them different tonight is I found this really awesome organic ancient grains blend, and it's got quinoa, millet, and amaranth. I hope I'm saying that right. And I've never tried this before, and so this is new to me. So I'm going to mix it with some black beans and fix it for dinner. So I'm doing this in the Instant Pot. You can do it on the stove top or in a crock pot. You do you. Whatever's easiest for you. I love my Instant Pot because I can do beans. You set it to 20 minutes and basically 30 minutes because of the coming to pressure time. You've got dinner. So I have never been able to do dried beans that fast before. So I love my Instant Pot. So I have soaked my black beans actually overnight, well 24 hours instead of overnight, because I put them on yesterday afternoon to soak, and I like for them to just start to split open a little bit. I like that. So I'm going to cover them with water. Now normally when I do my black beans, I'll just go about an inch above the beans. I'm going to go a little more than that because we're putting these grains in. So I'm going almost to the fill line, but not quite. Okay? Now I have measured out 1 cup of these grains, well, almost 1 cup. And then, let's see what else we're adding to this. I remembered my towel this time. I have got some dried minced onion. Feel free to use fresh if you prefer. And I've got a 1/3 cup of those dried. And I have 3 small tomatoes that I have cut up from my garden that have recently ripened in the house. And if you saw my green tomatoes video, you'll know that these are some of those. And if you haven't got any fresh, feel free to use a can. And then someone asked me the other day what spices I put in my Mexican style beans. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, most of my beans are Mexican style beans. And the reason why is my granny grew up in Texas. And so I learned to cook from my granny. My mom learned to cook from my granny. And so everything kind of has that similar Tex-Mex feel to it. And if you know anything about Tex-Mex, there are certain spices that just go into that. And for Granny, it was onion powder, garlic powder, and chili powder. And that was it. And everything we ate had those 3 in there. So I have got chili powder, onion powder, cumin, and paprika. And cumin and paprika are just my own additions because I know that those are common Tex-Mex spices. And so these are going to have these seasonings in. And because that was 2 full pounds of black beans, and for Granny it was always pinto beans. So you can use pinto if you want, or white beans, or whatever you like. The type of bean doesn't matter. I like to try and vary my beans. And lately I am just really, really loving black beans. So I'm doing black beans today. So I am doing 2 tablespoons of each of these spices. Now, if this is too much for you or too little, you do you, okay? I like my foods to really have a lot of seasoning. And that's just my personal taste and what I like. And so, like I said, you do what you like. So if this is too much for you, feel free to lessen down to 1 tablespoon. But this is a big pot of beans at 2 pounds, and so I'm gonna do that. I'm only gonna do 1 tablespoon of cumin and 1 tablespoon of paprika. and then 2 tablespoons of onion powder and chili powder. Okay? Now, I don't cook with salt. And the reason why is because I have terrible arthritis in my hands, and my hands will just swell up. And for years, I thought that it was the weather that made my arthritis swell up. I did not know it was the salt. So my goodness, what joy when I found out that. And so all my inflammation is gone now. I don't need a diuretic anymore. I'm off blood pressure meds. My hands and feet don't swell, and my back and my joints don't swell anymore. So I don't put salt, but I put salty flavored things, okay? Because beans just aren't beans without a salty flavor. Now today, and I don't always do this, but I try to always either use dulse or some other sea vegetable. And the reason for that is not just the salty flavor, but the iodine. Iodine is essential for us. And dulse is one of the things that just really gives us a massive amount of iodine, and it'll stay in our system for a while. So I try to add it into my beans because it's such a big batch of beans that a little bit of sea vegetable isn't going to alter that flavor at all, but it's going to give us that iodine that we need. So I'm putting in a tablespoon of the dulse flakes. And people will ask me, will it make it taste fishy? No, it doesn't, because you're spreading that 1 tablespoon out of that whole batch, and so it won't taste fishy. I'm also going to add some miso paste, because I have come to discover that using miso paste in my soups, stews, casseroles, and beans really does give a salty flavor. And miso, because the soybeans actually coat your stomach, you don't run the risk of stomach cancer the way that you do with actual salt. Now, my father-in-law died from stomach cancer, and he was a very heavy salter. Salter, is that a word? Salter? Just like my husband was, until I discovered that link between salt and stomach cancer, and now my husband has given up the salt as well. So he's right on board with my plant-based lifestyle. All right, so I am putting it in the Instant Pot, checking to make sure my seal is all set and everything's good, and this is sent to seal so that it will hold the steam in. Sorry, I'm a little off kilter because I turned it to face you a little bit, so I haven't got my 11 just right. Okay, now I am going to set this to manual 20, which if you don't have this particular brand or this particular model or brand, it may just be high pressure on your Instant Pot. So there's my beep saying we're ready to go. And I will put the picture of this as the thumbnail. So when you see the video, it'll show the picture of the finished product, okay? So I hope you do like my videos and my recipes, just my simple way of life. We really do eat this simply, and my family is happy and healthy, and they're satisfied with our food. And you know, my husband says I make vegan easy. So you know, he was vegetarian before for 10 years, and his ex-wife couldn't boil water, and her idea of vegan was a salad and McDonald's French fries. And so he's really happy with what I cook for him, and I hope that you guys are really happy with what I'm cooking as well. Try my recipes out and let me know if you like them. Share with your friends. Give me a thumbs up, guys. Have a good night.